Vladimir Putin lives an incredibly lavish lifestyle. So much so that many have started wondering and speculating whether he might be the richest man in the world. From a car collection that consists of almost 1,000 cars, a watch collection worth millions, and a controversial $1 billion mansion built off the coast of the Black Sea, there's no denying that he has more than enough money. On paper, Putin claims to earn only about $140,000 per year. But it doesn't take a genius to realize that he clearly has money coming from somewhere else. He rules Russia with an iron fist. He has a very intriguing background, and he loves to flash his riches. Is he the richest of them all, though? Join us as we investigate the claim and find out whether Vladimir Putin is actually the richest man in the world. We all know that what Vladimir Putin says he owns is far from what he actually owns and earns. Because let's face it, Putin lives incredibly large for a man who supposedly earns less than $150,000 per year. But is he secretly the richest man in the world? It's not the kind of question that has a simple yes or no answer. However, we are about to detail a few aspects of his life that might just get us closer to a real answer. Let's take a look at a few of the things he owns, even though he says he doesn't, and let's compare them to the same things owned by other wealthy men around the globe. Just wait till you see the last thing on our list. We'll give you a little hint. To date, it's the most expensive of its kind ever built. First up is his presidential plane, which has been nicknamed the Flying Kremlin. When Putin used to travel the globe, before he instigated a war with Ukraine, he did so in his presidential plane, a 4-engined long-range wide-body Ilyushin aircraft. To call it extravagant is an understatement. It's been fitted with so many luxurious features, Putin could easily just move in and call it his permanent home. In fact, most billionaire mansions are fitted with the same features, and the only thing that they have that Putin's plane doesn't have is a pool. At least not that we know of. A few of the features that can be found on board the Flying Kremlin is a fully equipped gym, complete with treadmills, weights, and a boxing bag or two. The plane also has a fully stocked bar and a master suite complete with a king-sized bed and a gold-plated toilet. The office has everything his main office has, including a communication system that allows it to act as a management center, capable of commanding troops during combat. So should Putin be in the air during an emergency, he would be able to act immediately. The Flying Kremlin is worth an estimated $716 million. The US government, however, didn't exactly skimp on the interior of the Air Force One, a Boeing 747-200B either. Granted, there's no gold-plated toilet on board, but Air Force One has a few other amenities to boast about. It's commonly referred to as the President's Office in the Sky, and it's easy to understand why. Apart from a fully kitted-out office space and boardroom, Air Force One has about 4,000 square feet of floor space on 3 separate levels, including an extensive suite for the president that features his or future her large office, bathroom, and conference room. Air Force One also has a medical suite that can function as an operating room. Additionally, the plane's 2 food preparation galleys can feed as many as 100 people at a time. We reckon it should be called the White House in the sky. Air Force One also has an unlimited range, seeing that it can be refueled mid-air. The onboard electronics are hardened to protect against an electromagnetic pulse, and Air Force One is equipped with advanced secure communications equipment, allowing the aircraft to function as a mobile command center in the event of an attack on the US. How much is it worth? Each of the 2 Boeings, yes, POTUS needs a backup, is worth an estimated $5.3 billion. Putin does, however, own 4 presidential planes in total, yet at $716 million a pop, it only adds up to about $2.8 billion, meaning he loses the first round. How about his extensive and flashy watch collection? One of his most prized watches is worth an unbelievable $1.15 million. Surely, a couple more within the same price range would mean that he has an incredibly pricey set of watches. Let's take a look, shall we? Putin's $1.15 million watch was made by Patek Philippe. It's an 18-karat gold piece and one of the most complicated watches ever made by the Genevan luxury watch manufacturer. He also owns a $480,000 A lange und schöne Taubograph perpetual pour le mérite, a limited edition watch, might we add, a $60,000 Patek Philippe perpetual calendar, an $18,000 Patek Philippe Calatrava, a Breguet Marine worth $15,000 and a $10,000 Blancpain Le Mans flyback. Not too bad, right? All in all, the collection we can account for comes in at a little under $2 million. Most rappers would love to be able to have a collection such as Putin's. He, however, loses round 2 as well, and is beaten by someone you would never have guessed, the Dalai Lama. We hear you. How could a spiritual leader who dresses in traditional Tibetan monk attire have a watch collection more expensive than that of Putin? Well, it's not that the Dalai Lama has a collection as such, but rather the fact that he owns the most expensive watch amongst all other world leaders. Instead of a wristwatch, the Dalai Lama is never without his Patek Philippe pocket watch, a gift from President Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1943. Yeah, the Dalai Lama was around back then. He's 86 years old and will turn 87 in July 2022. The yellow gold piece is a grand complication featuring a perpetual calendar, minute repeater, and a split seconds chronograph. Only about 15 of them were ever made, and while some of them have sold at auction for around $500,000, the history that accompanies the one owned by the Dalai Lama makes it priceless. As in, if a professional had to put a price tag on it, the sky would be the limit. There has to be something Putin owns that is way more expensive than any other of its kind owned by someone else, right? Putin lives incredibly large, and while it might be impossible to establish his exact net worth, it's thought to be somewhere in the billions. Which means, yes, there is something he owns that is truly remarkable and incredibly expensive, so much so that we might go as far as to say it is the most expensive of its kind ever to be built. But before we tell you more, remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons. In 2010, a whistleblower, Sergei Kolesnikov, first published an open letter to the Russian President Dmitry Medvedev exposing the construction of a secret $1 billion mansion reportedly owned by Vladimir Putin. The property obviously wasn't registered to Putin's own name because that's just not how he operates, but an in-depth investigation apparently pointed straight to Putin being the owner. But is it the most expensive home ever to have been built? We'll tell you in just a bit. First, let's explore this controversial mansion and all of its mind-blowing extras a little more. The mega mansion is thought to cover an area of at least 17,691 square meters. It was built on a block of land covering a total area of 182.8 acres and sits on the Black Sea coast near Galendzik, Russia. You know what they say about location, right? It has all of the things you'd expect a mansion of its grandeur to have. Features such as a massive pool, a spa with several saunas, a reading room, a music lounge, a wine cellar, and more than a dozen guest bedrooms. But it also has a few features you would not expect to see in a mansion. Putin's secret mansion apparently also houses a casino, Turkish baths, an ice palace, and an ice rink, a pole dancing room, and an amphitheater. Oh, it also has a variety of shops stocked with fresh produce. We literally don't know what to say about that. Is it a mansion or Putin's backup plan? Should he need to rebuild civilization? The real question is it the most expensive privately owned mansion ever to have been built? The answer is no. In 2006, a billionaire in India, Mukesh Ambani, had a $2.6 billion mansion built for him and his family. Fair enough, it's built in Mumbai and not on the coast of the Black Sea, but it consists of 27 stories, has 10 elevators, a car park big enough to house 160 cars, and a staff count of 600. It also has a snow room and an ice cream parlor, and is even earthquake resistant. Yet again, Putin's wealth is outshined. On paper, Putin earns a relatively small salary, but in real life, he probably earns way more than we could ever imagine. His real net worth might be estimated at somewhere around $200 billion. But the truth is, there is another billionaire who has a higher net worth, one that is based on factual evidence and real financial reports. Elon Musk is still the reigning billionaire, with a net worth fast approaching the $300 billion mark. Is Vladimir Putin far richer than what he claims to be? Absolutely, but we're just not convinced that he's the richest man in the world.